Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right. Oh, hello. How are you? My name is Tayo from United Kingdom. And in United Kingdom, we're celebrating the Black History Month, being proud of who you are. Black History Month in United Kingdom is celebrated every year in October. And I always say it's being proud of who you are. So I want to thank the Smithsonian Natural Museum of African Art giving me the opportunity to share my drawings, my art, my journey in the area of drawing on Black history with you. So I hope you have a good time with this session. And I know that by the end of the session, you all would have learned a lot about drawing cartoons and also drawing educational materials as well, just like our roots, and learning from me as well. So what I want you to know is that it's good to have plan B, and plan B is to have a good education. Because Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon in which you can use to change the world. Education is the most powerful weapon in which you can use to change the world. And that's not just in the United Kingdom, not just in America, but all around the world. And my drawings on Black history, which started from my school in New Jersey, the Cubit School of Cartoon and Graphic Art in New Jersey, is now an award-winning feature all around the world. So I'm going to share with you a PowerPoint presentation based on cartoons and my work as well, and also a bit of animation, which was a product of the lockdown. I had to be very creative during lockdown, so I came up with a new book, and I also came up with a mini animation on Black history. So I'm going to share all these with you. Okay, so I'm going to go to the PowerPoint and do a PowerPoint presentation for you. So we're going to start. I'm going to share the screen with you. Just bear with me. Here we are. I'm going to share the screen with you. All right. And what I'm going to do is get you to see, make it bigger so you can see what's on the screen. Okay. Now, Black history is being proud of who you are. Like I said, education is the most powerful weapon in which you can use to change the world. And we're going to learn a lot from our roots and just enjoy the ride. It's going to be a roller coaster fun of learning how to draw cartoons all the way from the United Kingdom. Ain't you lucky? We're going to have fun now. Here we go. Now, I'm going to show you a few things about drawing cartoons. So I'm going to go to the next page, which is this one here. During the lockdown, I was able to do a little bit of animation, and you will see what happens to these. This is me, actually. Yeah, what's up, Doc? Look at my buck teeth there. Similar to what you see on the screen. Yeah, that's it. Well, I'm going to play this little bit of animation and see what happens. You need to be very creative as time goes on, because if you don't move with times will leave you behind. So I'm sharing this with you for you to enjoy what I did during lockdown. I also did my book on Black history, my second volume on Black history called Our Roots. Now, look at this one and see what happens. What do you see there? Hey, look at my head bump. Look at my head moving there. It's what I experimented with during during the lockdown. This is fun. I always enjoy experimenting with new ideas. I had actually a year's animation education at the Cubit School in Dover, New Jersey. And through the years, I've been able to appreciate animation much more than ever before. And that's my drawing there on me. I'm poking my head there, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of creative work I did there with my drawing. That's introducing myself to you. Now, when it comes to drawing cartoons can be fun. And I want you to understand that images attract a lot. Images speak more volumes than just words. Images can speak thousands and thousands of volumes. And that's what we're going to learn today. So I'm going to go to the next one. See the head bopping? I just love that. I always enjoy doing that. I'm going to move to the next one now, which is that one. Okay, so here we are. What does it take to be a cartoonist? You need materials. All the information here are very important to drawing cartoons. you need to do comic panels, you want to do comic books. If you want to do, you need a table and a good chair to sit on so that when you sit on your chair, you don't hurt your back. You need a scanner, which I do. You need a rubber, and you need a pencil. You need to be very creative. You need new ideas as well. And I do that. You need caricatures, computers, you need to sketch as well, and you need to color your work as well. Because I started my work in black and white, and as time went on, I did lots of coloring in school, but when I became a professional, I started off in black and white because I was born in the UK, raised in Nigeria, and then I had my education in America, and I've been in the UK for over 30 years. So I've had a wealth of experience of drawing cartoons and switching from black and white to color. So having a look at that, you have an idea of what it takes to be a cartoonist. Sometimes I may jump into bed and an idea comes to me, I get out of bed again, go into the computer or go into my notepad and write down my ideas. Because if you don't write down your ideas, you will never ever get those ideas again. So it's always good to jot down notes of what your visuals are, what your thoughts are. You can always revisit them at your own, during your own convenience, okay? So I'll go to the next one, which is this. Now this one I like because my son did a pencil of while he admired, he enjoyed my cartoon, so he did a pencil of a drawing while he was at school, and I developed that into a character. Now, if you look at the face of this cartoon character here, whom he called Afro Joe with a with a pick in his hair, called Afro Joe. Now you see the eyes of Afro Joe are shaped like eggs, the shape of eggs, and the mouth is half moon as well, and the hair, if you go around it, is round, oval or round in shape or circular in shape. So shapes are very important to drawing cartoons. So, oops, sorry about that. So my son doing that, I developed that drawing into the color that you see now. Okay, so let's go to the next page. I just jumped ahead. Black History Month in the United Kingdom is all about celebrating black heroes and promoting Black history. I began drawing our roots in the United Kingdom in 1989, The Voice newspaper, one of Britain's biggest black newspaper in the United Kingdom. And from there, I began drawing in black and white. And from there, I developed developed the interest in drawing Black heroes, not just in the US, not just in the UK, but all around the world in diaspora. And that's what I'm all about. Oprah Winfrey, whom many of you will know, one of the richest Black presenters on telly, said, "Excellence is the best deterrent to racism and sexism. Excellence is the best deterrent to racism and sexism." If you do well in what you do, people will always want to work with you. And I've been able to experience that through my years, through the years of drawing, through my career years. I've really been doing very good works and been excelling in what I do. That there's always a demand for me to do some more work for other organizations. Okay, I'm gonna click on that. History dies without the present. There is no future without a path made to it by the past. In other words, without a past, there cannot be a present and there cannot be a future. The past and the present shapes the future. And you, as perhaps the young ones watching this, you are the future. And you need to make your future start working for you now. That's very important. Okay? Now, this is a school I went to, the Cubitt School of Cartoonography, my humble beginning of drawing cartoons. I was doing cartoons in Nigeria, and I went to the US to better myself in drawing cartoons. So you will see there's always a need to reference the school I went to for you to have an idea that I just didn't draw for drawing's sake. I also developed the skill in drawing cartoons by having a good education at the school and learning cartoons as well. All right. And I learned a lot there: animation, caricatures, human anatomy, narrative art, lettering, comic books. You know, it's a fun school to go to, and you have some of the best years of my me. Some of my best years, should I say, was at this school with friends who are now all around the world, and we're still in contact with each other. And this is the drawing, African sketchbook. This is the drawing I did at the school, the keyboard school. It was originally called African Sketchbook because after my education, I was thinking of going back to Africa, to Nigeria, to draw and the achievements of Africans, because I thought there was a need for Africans to be recognized for their achievements as well. Because when I was in America, it was all about African American heroes, and I thought to myself, as a Nigerian, I needed to highlight and showcase African heroes, places, events, and things in Africa as an African, and I was drawing from an African perspective. So this was the first format of our roots, my drawing on Black history. And I must say that this was the first time I got an A+ at the school, because my teachers found it being original. Like I said, we're celebrating Black history in the United Kingdom, and here is the first member of parliament, first Black member of parliament in the United Kingdom. Her name is Diane Abbott. So the first female Black MP in the United Kingdom is Diane Abbott. Now, what I do drawings. I do drawings to one side of the panel of my roots, and then write a little bit of information about the person, people, or places I'm featuring my roots. But I do lots of reading for me to be able to summarize this in about 50 to 60 to 70 words for people to read. And what our roots does is it enables people to make further research about whichever personality I feature in my drawings. Okay. And here's the first Black professional soccer player in the United Kingdom as well. Bear with me, because since I'm in the United Kingdom and we're celebrating Black History Month, it's important for you to know other Black heroes you've never heard of, and you can do further research on these people as I go along. There's more to come, and take notice of the drawings in black and white. That's how I started our roots. It later went into color. And also here's another one on the publisher of Britain's biggest newspaper, the Voice newspaper, of course in the United Kingdom, called Makala. He gave me the opportunity to publish our roots. See how African Sketchbook has now become our roots, because when I relocated to the United Kingdom, I decided to do features on people all around the world. So I decided to change the title, not from African Sketchbook to Our Roots, which embraces Black people in diaspora, and more of our roots in black and white. It just got better, because when you're drawing and you're encouraged by publications, you're encouraged even by the Smithsonian Natural Museum of African Art, giving you this platform to be able to showcase your work. You encourage and you want to do more and want to better yourself in the drawing you do. Okay, and here's another one of my black and white drawings as well. I'm Trevor MacDonald, the first Black television newscaster in the United Kingdom. Okay, and there we are, a popular trade union leader called Bill Morris in the United Kingdom as well. So you'll be wondering that, oh, why do you have lots of Black Britons there? Because again, we're celebrating Black heroes in the United Kingdom. And for many of you who may not know that we celebrate Black History Month in the United Kingdom, this is an opportunity for you to know about Black heroes in Europe, in the United Kingdom, in Africa, in South America, in the Caribbean, all around the world. Okay. Now it gets better. You will notice this drawing used to publicize this workshop, and that's when I started started becoming conscious of having my work in color. So it just got better from black and white. As you can see, it went from black and white. If I can go back to black and white to color, there's a vast difference there. Because it's the age of digital art, and I had to move with times to improve on my work, and also to ensure that my work is accessible and everywhere, all around the world. So these are my drawings. The first, Africa's first bobsled team actually came from Nigeria, and here they are. The fact that they actually featured in the competition is an achievement, and it will just got better because they were encouraged by so many today at the Olympics to Africa's first bobsled team to feature in the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. Okay. And here's Thomas Green, who was born blind, autistic, but he was a genius in playing the piano. And you can see, so what I do with our roots is let people know that there was more to, I wouldn't say there's more, but some of you will know Stevie Wonder, more like the present. And here's the past, which is on the screen. And I'm sure there's a future coming along. But not only was Thomas Wiggins blind, like I said, he was autistic and a very, very good pianist. And he made money from for his masters then. And he actually was the first African American to perform at the White House, and he performed a famous song called "The Battle of Manassas." Okay, Black Lives Matter, as you can see there. So I tend to make research on whatever I want to draw, and then give people an idea of what information I want to put out there. So you see that my range goes from various Black achievers from around the world. Also, you recognize that I use a comic book font. That's intentional. The comic book style of lettering is intentional because many are into comic books, and I thought having my drawings and having my drawings done with comic book font would give many the impression of a comic book I want to read. That was intentional, to use a comic book font to letter my drawings. Because we studied that when I was at school, I studied lettering as well. So we did comic book lettering. That's what we had to do. We also had to, it was a class just for lettering, because not only can you be a cartoonist or comic artist or colorist or penciler or inker, could also be a colorist, or you could also be a letterer and letter your own works as well. Okay, and here's another courageous Mary Prince, was born a slave in the Caribbean in 1788 on a plantation in Bermuda. So again, another Black heroine featured in our roots. Windrush arrivals, and on June 22nd, 1948, the MV Windrush docked at Tilbury and changed the face of British history forever with the first mass Black migration to Britain. It's called Windrush and is celebrated every year because Black people from the Caribbean, actually contributed to British history, and that cannot be wished away. And here's another Black Briton, originally from Somali, a Somalian from Somaliland, and he was one of the first of the Somali settlers in London, United Kingdom. Okay, here are extracts from my new book on Black history, Our Roots, which was published in a magazine called New African Magazine. So these are extracts from my drawings on my new book called Our Roots, Volume 2. I got Volume 1 done in black and white, but I got Volume 2 done in color. Again, I used the opportunity of the lockdown to work on this project, and it's been an exciting period for me to do this work in color. I had fun doing it, and you can see the outcome of it. And there is more to the excerpts in the book than what you see here. These are just like what they are, just bits and bobs of what's in the book, but more elaborate in the book. And that's another page in the African magazine that features our roots, more or less publicizing our roots in the new book. And hopefully you get to pick up your copies or buy a copy when it gets to Smithsonian eventually. Okay, there you are. And I usually draw for this paper. This was the first paper. This was paper in the UK to give me the opportunity to publish our roots. So I've been with them for over 30 years, drawing our roots in this paper. But since then, our roots has gone all around the world. Let me go back to that again, just for you to have a look at that. This was an important case about a legacy about Stephen Lawrence in the United Kingdom, who was killed by racists. But it was a big story then. They never caught the killers, but they changed the family. This family, the Lawrence family, changed the face of Britain forever. And go to the next one, another Black Britain, which is Britain's first well-known Black stand-up comedian and singer to experience mainstream success on television. His name, Charlie Williams. You probably will see him in the animation I'm going to show you shortly. Again, Baroness Patricia Scotland of Astor, a British barrister, is the first Black female in UK's House of Lords. She also made history in 1999 by being Britain's first Black minister in Prime Minister Tony Blair's government. So I tend to read and write about these Black heroes and achievers. And also I have here Sam Beaver King, was the first Black mayor of London Borough of Southwark in Southeast London as well. Same thing. Oops, let me go back again. There you go. King Sobhuza II of Swaziland was the longest reigning monarch in Africa. And I usually feature lots of African heroes, achievers, and unsung heroes mostly, so that people are aware of these people other than the well-known political, musical, and educational heroes we have in Africa as well. Okay. And Lewis Hamilton, some of you are into Formula One, Formula One, in the racing circuit, you know that Lewis Hamilton is the first Black driver to race in Formula One and also the first Black driver to race for Britain in Formula One. He's won 7 championships now. I'm aiming for the 8th, but winning 7 alone is an achievement by any standard. And he used his skills, he used his gift to driving to overcome racism and bullying. Okay, and he was used also at the back of the newspaper I draw for the Voice newspaper on the sports page when he won his 7th championship. It was put at the back. My image was put at the back of the sports newspaper, on the back page of the sports paper, on the sports page newspaper. Or should I say, back of the Voice newspaper sports page. Okay, got that right in the end. Okay, I got Mary Prince there again. So, and we also have Toni Morrison. I did this for newsella.com, a website for teachers and students as well. And I've always been an admirer of Toni Morrison's works, and it's nice to see. I really enjoy. What's good about our roots is that not only do I write about them, I enjoy drawing them. Sometimes I take drawings in black and white and turn them into color. So sometimes some images of people you've seen in black and white, I may end up being the first person to have them drawn in color, because some black and white pictures probably way before color was in operation. Then color images was in operation. So I really enjoy that. You can see that was the first Black president of the US, Barack Obama, presenting her with a Medal of Freedom in 2012. Okay, so Anthony Joshua, Nigerian by heritage and well-known boxer who won a few titles. He lost them recently. I'm sure he'll bounce back again. But the fact, one thing is that just like Muhammad Ali, no matter, even when Muhammad Ali, when he got older, began to lose matches, but it did not take away from the fact that he still remains the greatest. And that's the same with Anthony Joshua. He's done well for instance. These are role models to young, up-and-coming Black Britons who want to go into boxing. Could be in boxing, could be on TV, could be in sports. But without role models, it's difficult to know what direction you want for yourself. So as an artist, you must have a role model. I was mentored by Joe Kubert, the proprietor of the school, Kubert School, and also by Jerry Robinson, the creator of The Joker. He syndicated my Our Roots. He was the first to syndicate my Our Roots in America. And right now, Our Roots has been published in the New York, Amsterdam News, Sacramento Observer, and also Miami News, I believe, and also some other publications all around the US. And you can find Our Roots on the website. It's an award-winning feature as well. I won an award for this drawings on Black history a couple of years back in Philadelphia. I had to fly to Philadelphia to pick up my award for these drawings by ECBACC, the organizers of the award in Philadelphia. Okay, so also the Jamaican parentage. He was born Delroy Lindo, born of Jamaican parentage, and a Hollywood actor. Some of you might say he Delroy Lindo in some of the movies, Hollywood movies, but he was actually born in Southeast London, and raised in Lewisham, which also is in Southeast London as well. And then William Coffey, again, I won't bore you with that. Then Sultan of Sokoto, my images, I just don't, like I said, I just don't write, I just don't read. I also draw to inspire young artists to know how to draw, to know how to color, because that's very important if you want to make any headway in drawing cartoons, in drawing comics, and illustrating works given to you by clients as well. And also have more Black Britons there. And here's Samuel Coleridge Taylor, who was one of Britain's most classical composers. His great composition, Hiawatha's Wedding Feast, written in 1898, was a most famed choral work of his. That's Samuel Coleridge Taylor. And I hope you're taking down notes as we go along. Take down notes of these names and find out more about their achievements and what they have achieved whilst they were around, or the achievements of those in the past, the achievements of those in the present, and the achievements of those in the future, who still have a long way to go to have more achievements in their name. Okay, so that's that. And remember that name, Samuel Coleridge Taylor. And we have here Claude Marquet, but you'll see him in the animation. So I'm just showing you my work in color now. For starting with my work, first of all, in black and white, but now in color. Okay. And here's a guy that has designed almost 90% of Fela Kuti's album, just like Bob Marley introduced reggae to the world, so did Fela introduce Afrobeat to the world. But this guy, Gary Kulemi, designed most of Fela's albums, about 26 of them. So his album covers were always something I needed to look out for, to see what album cover he would do next for Fela as well. Okay, so that's Gary Kulemi. So right here, drawing our roots, I'm going to show you how I go about drawing a root. I made it as quick as possible, so you just bear with me and just see how I do our roots. Now, when I do our roots, I usually draw our roots with a panel like that, okay? And when I draw our roots, I first draw in pencil, okay? That's a panel, that's a pencil. And then I put my logo there, or roots. And then after that, I add color to it, okay? I add color to the work. And then when I add color to it, I ensure that there's space enough there to add my text. So anytime you're drawing, even in comic books, when comic book artists, when they draw, they're always thinking of where to put captions in their drawings, and you should always do that. Don't fill the page with beautiful drawings and the captions then go over those beautiful drawings. So here we are again. I'm going to show you. Let me just repeat that again. Remember what I said? First of all, draw in pencils to get it right. Then when you draw in pencils to get it right, you go start adding other things to it. Like I added a logo, then I added color to it. Like I said, that's the fun bit. And I color on computers using Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, or Microsoft Paint as well. And that's where it takes you. And that's the final. And the final bit is to then add text to it, the name of the person you've drawn and their achievements. Okay, there we go. And because of our roots, I've been able to do so many drawings in the UK. I'm always getting people come to me, or organizations or clients come to me saying, we like your drawings on Black history and we want you to do something for us. This is a drawing I did for Birmingham Council in the Midlands in England about allotments. Okay, this is because of our roots. And you also have the Oba of Benin. These I did for British Museum. I did about 10 illustrations for the British Museum, and this is the Benin Kingdom. Okay, we have the Mali Kingdom, the Benin Kingdom, the Kush Kingdom, the Zimbabwe Kingdom. I did about 10 different African kingdoms for the British Museum, and this is the Benin Kingdom. And you can see the Benin Kingdom, and all I had to work with were these artifacts from Africa, from Nigeria, most of them from Nigeria. And I was shown this display. These were all displayed in the museum, and I had to come up with a story to create a story around these images. And this is how I came up, because these and the Oba of Benin and the Benin Kingdom in those days was the era of slavery, and that's why you see slave trade going on in the background there, to the slave masters who came to Africa to look around for, should I say, shop for slaves, and they always give the king, Oba of Benin, the king, a few gifts to excite them about giving away slaves to them as well. Unfortunate, but that's what happened. That's part of history, which cannot be wished away. And the other kingdom is the Mali Kingdom, also for the British Museum. And you can see there, these are all I got, tablets, Arabic tablets, to work with. And I came up with the whole of this visual you now see on the page. I had to research how the houses were in those days, mud houses, what sort of dress they wore, what sort of food they sold, what sort of clothes they sold in markets. And so the whole concept was built around just being shown these two tablets these men are holding in their hands, in which they used to teach Arabic or read Arabic. Okay. And because of our roots, BBC commissioned me to do a digital comic feature on called Hooked, on a small country in West Africa. So I had a fun time doing Hooked, which was 6 minutes. It was a 6 minute video, but it took me 2 to 3 months to complete the digital work. It's not easy with animation. It's easy. It's quicker to draw, or should I say, animation is time consuming. So don't expect to do or finish animation in one week or 2 weeks. Animation that you may do can take 4 months, 5 months, depending on how much input has gone into it. So animation does take time. And when I had an animation, I had an animation training at the Cubit School. It took us a whole year to do character called, a rabbit character called Mr. Popularity. Because some of us had to paint the background for the character. Some of us had to draw the character itself, and some of us had to do the in-betweens from moving from A to B. We had to do the in-betweens of the storyline, all for 5 minutes, but it took a long time to do that. Okay. And this is what I did for New York Amsterdam News when Obama became the first Black president of America. I did a comic page for New York Amsterdam News. And so not only do I do cartoons, illustrations, I also do comic pages as well, depending on who wants me to do it for them, unless I go out of my way to look for funding for my own project. But people come along, they have ideas, but they don't know how to put it down on paper or execute it. So that's why I come in to with my skills that I've acquired through the years and my experience to do a comic for them as well. Okay. And that's the first book on Black history called Our Roots that I did about 20 years ago. But in between the 20 years and now, I've updated the book itself. But again, Black history will always be there. For as long as there's the black race, there will always be a Black history. Black history, Black achievers have contributed a lot to global history. So that we cannot put to one side. We can never ever wish it away. Okay. And that's the cover of my new book, Our Roots on Black history. Again, now in full color, I was able to do great works doing this in full color. Excuse me. Now I'm going to show you the animation I did during the lockdown. It took me about 5 months to do. And I hope, excuse me, I hope you enjoy it. All right. It's all about Black history. Remember, education is the most powerful weapon in which you can use to change the world. And I thought to myself, where do I go with this? Now listen to this. So go on. So there, our roots, Black history in motion. Hope you enjoyed that. And hope you've been able to learn a lot from drawing, from the much I've been able to share with you, because I really, really enjoy art, and I want you as a cartoonist to learn the trade as well. If you're an aspiring cartoonist, you must know how to draw. You must learn. There's an African saying that says a baby has to crawl before it walks. So anytime I'm holding my workshops around the world, I always say that you must learn first of all before you draw. So I get them to learn before they start drawing at all. And I'm hoping that you can learn from this as well. And also don't just be yourself. Find out what areas, what genre of art you want to do. But what's important that you must do, and I must emphasize, is that you need to be original with your ideas. You cannot draw the same Spider-Man that's been drawn through the years. You cannot draw the same Simpsons. You cannot draw the same Malika Baroye or Kukwe. You have to be original with your concept. And that matters a lot. So be original with your ideas, first of all, and then see how you can develop your work. And always learn from the masters, okay? Even in the Chinese tradition, or ancient Chinese traditions, they were always, the young ones were always learning from their masters. When it came to kung fu fighting, or even learning knowledge, even learning about educational knowledge, they always had to go to their masters. I watched a few films like that, and I would see how a young aspiring person would go to a master, his master, or someone, his mentor, to be mentored, and so he can excel in what the mentor has done. So you've got the mentee and you've got the mentor, and the mentee is learning from the mentor as well. So I hope this has been an eye-opener for you, and I hope you've been able to learn from have a knowledge of drawing cartoons, and have a knowledge of what our roots is all about. Our roots is all about being proud of who you are, and also showcasing Black people in the diaspora. And I'm an artist of African diaspora, and I really enjoy what I do, and I hope to do more as time goes on. So thank you very much, and I'll stop sharing. Be good, be well, take care of yourself, keep drawing. All right, bye.